Guys, we're back today with my original series 350 Enterprise and all that. Gonna go over a little bit what I did and didn't do. A little bit about my base, some of the lighting on the base and all that. When I built this model, I basically I kind of did what it appears to me as and all that. And I used Tester's light aircraft gray. To me it looked like it's a little bit lighter than that greenish gray, whatever that Tamiya color they were calling out. I preferred the lighter gray over that, and under a certain lighting it looks darker anyway, so I'm happy with the color in that. On the front of the neck I did the Hellblau. That's what the kit calls out for, and I think that came out pretty decent with the light gray and all that. I used the kit supplied clear windows in some areas, and then the little lights up on top of the saucer. Those I used the white opaque windows for and all that. The underside of the saucer I used the opaque white dome and all that. Now this is the old one with the original kit. This is the this isn't the deluxe version. This is just the original box build, the original kit. No photo etch, nothing like that. So I'm gonna explain how I went about doing some of the little lighting tricks and all that with using photo etch or clear parts and all that for different lighting. So we'll go from there. I didn't fill the seam on the side of the saucer. For one, it's got seams all over the rest of the saucer, so I thought it'd go along and everything. And for two, I kind of almost plain old forgot about it and stuff. So, but other than that, everything else, all the seam work is done, the putty work on it, and sanded down smooth and everything. The seams on the neck are all filled in and everything, and the nacelles, the pylons and all. So we'll go from there. Let's get started. Nothing fancy on this one, like the refit. This is just basically a lit model, and it's got some the nacelles. You got the motors in them and stuff. I used my own lighting, and I went with the motors from Tenacontrols. I did frost the caps, the domes on the end of the nacelles, the buzzard collectors. Those I did with Scotch-Brite, a real fine Scotch-Brite. That way it didn't leave any kind of sanding marks or streaks in them. They came out pretty nice and smooth. And then on the outside, I just coated them with some Tester's Dull Coat in the spray can. That's about it. The fan blades inside, while they're not turning, you can tell I got those painted brass color, gold color, whatever. Those are just the raised surfaces. No, like I said, there's no photo etch on this model whatsoever. So let's turn on the lights. They give you an idea. First thing I'll point out on the filming model, this set of lights back here was always dark. I preferred to light them. I kind of just, it's my look at it. I wanted them all lit and everything, and that it might not be screen accurate, but hey, you know, that's what modeling's all about. You build it your way and the way you see it fit. I did do the little red window on each side of the neck, like you see on the filming version and all that. You get the little green dome there. I don't know, there's three little different color lights back there underneath that dome, but you really don't see them and all that, you know, barely. And I got those three little marker lights up there. Back of the adjusters, the impulse engines or whatever those are lit. I just used two red LEDs in there. I didn't use anything flickering or anything like that, so they're just pretty much on all the time. I used the clear dome piece on the top. I can pop that off and pop in the opaque one if I want. The nacelles, the kit parts are those little like teardrop shaped things that press into them. I used the kit parts for those and painted them like a clear orange to give it the orange color. The flashing color lights, those are red, green, blue RGB LEDs, the fast flashing ones. And what I did is I got two of them in each nacelle, so there's like a total, I think like six fibers or 8 fibers or something, so they give it all the lighting effect that I was looking for. But I used 2 of them in each nacelle, and what I did, I ran some like I think it's 1.2 or 1.0 millimeter fiber optic cable through the holes, and that's what's giving me my color light effect. Those are actually just the tips of the fiber optics that are popping through between all the orange lights I got in there and that. And the motors, those are from Ralph at Tenacontrol, and they're a lot quieter than the kit supplied if you buy the lighting kit and everything, which is like outrageously priced. And I heard there's a lot of issues, and a lot of them aren't working right. A lot of the lights go out. The motors are noisy. The motors stop working. The plastic gears get worn out and stuff. These are a lot quieter. They worked out really nice. They fit in there with no modifications whatsoever to the parts. They basically, they're a press fit. I didn't have to do any modifying of the kit parts to get the motors to fit. They went right in place and all that. And I'm real happy with the way they turned out. They do have a circuit board that Ralph includes, as far as it controls the speed and all that, and the rotation with the two, both opposite directions and stuff like they should be. And down on my base, I drilled a little hole and I mounted a circuit board. I didn't opt with the adjustment knob on there. It just got a little adjustment. I drilled a hole right above it, and I can put my screwdriver in there, and I can adjust the speed of them. And when you do turn them up, a little faster, they do get a little bit louder, but they're a real quiet hum compared to the grinding noise that the Polar Lights kit did. So I'm happy with those. And they've been in here, 3-4 years now, and they're still going pretty strong. Haven't had any issues with them or anything. They still work the same. They didn't get any louder, so Ralph did a good job on supplying. I think this is the first set that he sold. I was the one that purchased them, so I guess I kind of was like his guinea pig and all that. And but I was very pleased with them from the minute I got them, and took them out and checked them out and stuff, and I'm very happy I went that route. I like the motors better. They look more realistic than the just the LED effect where it looks like they're spinning around. To me, this is old school. They didn't have that kind of technology, they didn't use it back then when they filmed the original series. So I wanted to keep it as much old school as I could. So let's see. Base isn't nothing special. It's one of the emblems, one of the stands from the little 1/1000 scale Enterprise models and stuff. Underside of the ship, everything's lit there. I got my, give her a quick turn here and all that. And I'll start going along some detail. I do have my shuttle bay lit, all from above mainly. I didn't do any other lighting from the side, like the side windows, and I wanted to kind of dim, like, there's nothing going on in there, and they're just cruising around taking care of things and in the galaxy and stuff. But what I did basically to get the light to come through the top of the shuttle bay is I just sanded down. It's the kit supplied parts, they're not the clear parts. I sanded down paper thin, and until I was happy with the amount of light that was passing through, and that worked out real fine for me. So as far as the it should pick them up. As far as the fantail there, I do have the red, yellow, and green lights there, the landing marker lights, and all that. It's kind of like the landing lights would be on an aircraft carrier almost, but that's the kit part also. It's not the clear part. Now when I built the kit, on the inside of that part, there was the little indentations where those lights would be. So I just carefully, I drilled out the corners, and I cleared them out with my X-Acto. I filed them rectangular the way they're supposed to be shaped, and I just popped an LED back there, and I used crystal clear for the to fill them in for the lenses and everything. So I got that effect without having to use the custom clear parts that come with the upgrade kit or the photo etch or anything like that and stuff. And do have my little shuttle in there. And the light above, that's pretty much self-explanatory. I did the same thing. I cut out the hole in that part that mounts up there for the overhead light to shine, to light up and everything. I had to do a lot of filing on the inside of the hull halves to get the shuttle bay to fit in there real nice, and then I had some pretty good seams in there. After it was all glued up and set and dried, I took some canopy glue and filled in the seams real good, and it kind of self-level itself. I don't have no lumps because it's kind of tough to get in there and sand them and stuff. So I took care of that, so there's no light leaks on the side of the shuttle bay doors or anything like that. I didn't do anything as far as custom lighting on the end, the back of the nacelles, or nor the chiller grill areas. I kept it kind of the way it was in the show, in the original series. And then there's my two thrusters in the back, my impulse engines or whatever they are. I don't know if they're called impulse engines on this one or not, but that was that. On my bridge, we're going to have to stand up a little bit with this, so give me a second here to get situated. On my bridge, that's the stock bridge parts. I did detail paint it all up, and it's going to probably be a little bit tough to see in there, but I did detail it all up. And what I did was, when I was painting the sidewalls, I masked off where those windows were, kind of held it off to light, cut little strips of masking tape, and put them where the windows were on the outer side of it. And then when I did all my light blocking and took them off, I got the effect that I wanted with all the screens lit up on it. It's not going to be a clear for one thing. I got some glare from the light coming in, and also, like I said, I use my cell phone for a lot of this. So, but I think you get the idea. There's the main view screen right there, the big lit up one, and then of course the smaller ones around the sides and all that. And let me get my hand out of the way. Got all the smaller ones along the sides lit up, and that's so. That's what I did on there. As far as the rest of the lights, they're pretty much just the kit ones. They got those flat little rectangular ones on the four places, and that one in there. Those are just the kit supplied decals. On the top and the bottom all over. I got my bottom all done up and everything. Whatever those little wings are, the landing gears or whatever. And on the front, on my deflector dish, I did that gold band further back around there. You see I got some weathering. I just used some black, lightly did some black pastel chalk, some marks on there and stuff here and there. A little bit up there on the neck, same with down in the cells, and you can see a little bit of bluish in there. I kind of went and matched up some pastel chalks. I got a set that comes with about 30 colors, I think 32, something like that. And they do have a blue that came pretty close to matching up to the Polar Lights weathering decals for this model. So I did the same thing. As you can see, I weathered the front edge of the saucer and all that. I did the rust band with pastels, and that was before the final coat of paint. And what I did was just when I put the final coat of paint on there before I cleared it, I went over that rust band. There was a real light misting of that light aircraft gray, so it kind of blended it in where it makes it a little bit more faint, and it kind of fades off in the back towards the center of the saucer, rather than having a distinct band there that was, that had sharp edges and everything. I kind of like the way that it blended in for me real nice and everything. And then I got some a lot of weathering I did on the front edge of it and stuff. You can see the blues in there, a little bit of rust color, and I kind of went with the like I said, the Polar Lights decals, and went that route. That little rust around the dome and everything. I thought that looked kind of. I think I saw some pictures of the original model when they were starting to do the restore on it recently. I noticed they did have some rust around that dome area there, so I added that there. I got a little bit of a golden tan color that I noticed on the kit decals. There was a little bit of browns and stuff, so I kind of tried to replicate the kit weathering decals without having to do decals. I did it all with pastel chalks and everything. I think it looks pretty good. At least I like it, and like they say, it's my model. I'm going to build it the way I want and stuff. So, But all in all, I think it came out pretty good. It's a nice ship. It's a nice ship. It's a nice addition to go with the Enterprise. And this was a great model as far as fit and everything. I mean, when I first bought it, I wanted to actually see what it looked like, you know, before I start putting it together. I put all the pieces, the main pieces together as far as the secondary hull, the neck, the saucer, the nacelles, and the pylons and everything. And everything sat up straight on the table without tipping over or falling apart and everything. And it's like they really did a great job on this kit. Big improvement over the old refit and stuff. And I mean, the refit wasn't bad, but there was a lot of seam filling and parts that you really had to clamp together and hold them for a long time real tight to get them to stay and everything. So this was I think this was a superb job on their part and everything. And I hope they make some more kits in the future, you know, this scale, as long as they're not 6 feet long and everything. But I'm looking forward to that Klingon Katinga that's supposed to come out this fall. So that'll be a nice addition for the refit too. So anyway, I'm surprised they never made a 350 Klingon battlecruiser to go along with this. I know there's aftermarket resin ones and stuff, but those are quite pricey, and sometimes they're a little harder to light because everything's solid. It's not hollow like a styrene kit. But this was great. And like I said, this is the first issue when it first came out way back, and you know, it's not the deluxe kit or nothing like that. Everything you see on here is just the out-of-box build and stuff, minus except for the addition of the motors. Pretty much used LED tape, and biggest percentage of it is LED tape. Made my own circuit board for my navigation lights and all that. You only got a couple there in that. I didn't do anything special with those. Though there's some kind of reactor lights back there, they're just flashing the same with the navigation lights. I didn't do anything special to change the speed of them or nothing. I left all the lights the same. People that don't know much about Star Trek don't pay too much attention to them, and I'm pretty much happy with the way they turned out. And on the bottom, I noticed the movie version, they had white ones on the side and in the bottom, and the only ones that were colored were the top ones and everything. Same with the other side, the red and all that. So totally satisfied with the way it turned out. Hope you guys like it, and I'll probably do a little bit of a video maybe in the dark with some background music, and after that I'll probably set the two Enterprises side by side, and just do a couple minute video on the two of them sitting side by side, just lit up and looking pretty. So hope you enjoyed this and all. And I forgot my bass. I did add some little bit of lighting effects on my bass. I got a couple switches here. First thing, I did a couple blue ones, and it'll kind of highlight the bottom of the model a bit and all that, and they kind of give it a nice little shade. Now in the video you've seen it's looking a little bit purplish and stuff. It's just the way the camera picks up the blue. And then I also did some red ones next to them. I got that idea watching Mr. Simon Merck's videos and stuff. He kind of did the same thing on his base and kind of highlights the front and the back of the ship a little bit, up to the pylons, the underside, and then the nacelles and everything. I turn the blue off and just leave red. Gives it a little bit different look. And I'm thinking I can always go back and maybe a white one or something. Just have a white one on there. Stuff not hard to do. So but I'm kind of happy with that little effect. It just adds a little bit something different, you know, as far as a lighting effect, if you want to put it on display and show people, you know, kind of like it's flying through a galaxy or like a nebula or something, and the different colors are reflecting off the bottom of the ship. So that's it for my 350 original series Enterprise. You know, there's not, like I said, there's not a lot of added features on this like there is on the regular the refit, as far as floodlights and all that stuff. This is just basically old school, and with the way she turned out. And except for my seam on my saucer halves, I'm satisfied. I like the weathering I did. I kind of didn't want this one just to be pristine out of box like it was built brand new. It's been traveling around the galaxies for quite a lot of years and stuff, so I kind of took a little bit of liberty and did some weathering. And there was weathering on the original one. It just didn't show up that much on the film. But when they showed the one in the Smithsonian, they said at the top of the saucer was pretty much like it was painted in the movies. I mean, in the TV show series, and the bottom was what they messed up on and stuff. And I really didn't do a whole lot of on the bottom other than carry the front edge, the weathering, the little streaks underneath a little bit, not too far back. But I didn't do anything to highlight none of those grid lines on there. I pretty much left all just the base color and stuff. And then this model I didn't do the satin, the semi-gloss. I did this satin finish on it, so it doesn't have a sheen like the refit and all that. So so that's my original series Enterprise. There's a better look at my top with the weathering, and I kind of went off of pictures from the Smithsonian picture when they were doing a restore, and they had everything taken apart, laid out on the workbenches and stuff. And I think she came out pretty decent and everything. And maybe there's a little bit more weathering on the front edge than there was on there, but I kind of like the way it looks that way and stuff. And the same with my with the rest of it. You can see I got some streaks going down the nacelles all the way back, and I did some weathering back there on the tail end of the nacelles, the back side. Saw some of that on the studio model. So, and the same with the pylon and the secondary hull. I got the weathering done going on there, and the neck as well. Other than that, it was fun to build. Like I said, this was a model. This was a lot easier to light than the refit. There's probably about half as many LEDs, maybe about 100 or so. And like I said, that's if you count each individual on the LED tape as, you know, separate LEDs. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out my ship models. Thanks for your subscriptions. Thanks for your hitting the like button. Thanks for all the nice comments you guys been leaving and getting into enjoying these models. And we'll see you on the next one. Till the next time, you guys all take care. Happy modeling. Bye.